Well, the central proposition is in the design of your leadership cadre. I think that for a lot of my generation of technology leaders, the assumptions were that you really had to have technical chops coming out of, again, another era of technology, that you could talk bits and bytes, that you had this kind of lingua franca that no one actually in the rest of the senior administration knew. It was kind of like a secret language, but that every once in a while you would have an opportunity to shed insight as to why this secret cult of IT was so special that the rest of the university needed to follow the pattern that is out there. So the central goal is into thinking about designing what kind of IT leadership is appropriate not only for your institutional culture, but also for the moment in time of the evolution of your institution and the aspiration of the institution going forward. So for the first 30 years of educational technology, we had a model that what we needed was to bring on IT leadership who could help the university design a technology experience that looked pretty much like the last 800 years of the way we taught. It had to be, the institutional-centered model. It had to be the faculty-centered model. It had to be, something that would allow us to, create a place to deposit your, like we used to do in the old days before the technology. We used to slide our assignments in under the door of a professor's office along there. So we needed to replicate the way the old model of teaching and learning into this ed tech era. So we got the student information system. We got the learning management systems. We got all kinds of systems that allowed us to reflect the way the institutions were designed over the several hundred years. At ASU, that's part of our legacy. But we're also mindful that at this moment in time, we're entering a new era, an era where it's not about EdTech 1.0, this idea of kind of making the technology perform and be designed like the old schoolhouse. We're entering an era, much of it is being driven by AI right now, in which we need to rethink everything about the way in which our technology is utilized. We no longer have to make it institutionally centered. We can make it absolutely learner and student centered. We can make it learner and student centered. That is to say, we can let the data that we capture on the students actually move with the students. We have all of the systems that are out there. Universities have all kinds of discrete siloed systems, a student information system, a learning management system, a place to do a degree audit, a place to do career. Those are all separate systems. We think of ourselves as data rich, but actually we're very much intelligence poor. We really don't know much about our students. And certainly it's not about our students. It's really been historically about the institution's need, the professor's need, the need to actually submit a grade. It's about trying to say, the transcript is what we're capturing in the way of what students have learned rather than the journey of learning, having really no way of expressing that whatsoever. So we're at a different moment in time. I call that moment in time this transition from ed tech to tech ed, in which we have a new set of opportunities to not only deliver new technology, AI-enabled technologies, but also to rethink the organizational model to support this new era where the student is in fact the center of the experience. Their journey is what you build technologies to support, and the organizational model needs to follow in that regards. ASU has made a commitment for the last 20 years or more to be the model of a student-centered experience. And now we are in a position, finally, in the technology community, as AI has now appeared, to actually shed that historical experience of that first generation of educational technology and evolve our approach so that students and their journey is at the center of the overall experience and get our organizations to reflect that new reality.